At 68, I never thought younger women would glance my way. Not because of looks, but something deeper. A quiet confidence shaped by life's trials. What is it about the steady calm, humor, and decisiveness that pulls them in? Join me on this unexpected journey through a community project that tore down every age barrier I had. That Saturday morning began like any other. Me, Jack, hauling lumber for the local community center project, humming Woody Guthrie under my breath while feeling the familiar ache in my knees. The sun had just edged over the rooftops, casting soft light on the busy lot, when Mrs. Crabapple's sharp voice sliced through the calm. "Keep it down, Martin. Some of us want peace in the morning," she barked, marching over with that finger wag she perfected over the years. I paused, glancing around. The rustle of leaves and the soft taps of saws filled the air, barely louder than a whisper. Ever been blindsided by unfair anger? Years ago, I'd have snapped back without missing a beat. But this time, with my bones creaking and wrinkles deepening like chapters of a well-read book, I took a slow breath, smiled gently, and said, "We're on a tight schedule, Mrs. Crabapple. We'll keep it down as best we can." That moment, choosing calm over confrontation, surprised even me. It sparked a quiet confidence I hadn't known I carried, like a secret muscle waking up. At my age, dealing with pressure calmly isn't always easy. I'm no stranger to the subtle reminders each birthday hands me, the stiff joints, the slower reflexes, the little doubts creeping in. But Lena Morales, the 34-year-old powerhouse with lively curls and a heart the size of this whole town, noticed something steady in me right away. "Martin," she said one day with a smile that made me feel seen, "you carry yourself like you've weathered storms no one else has. I used to think emotional stability was just getting old gracefully, a slow fade into patience. But it's much more than that. It's a magnetic strength, that rare kind of calm younger folks can't help but gravitate toward. It's not brittle or dull. It's the kind of quiet confidence that makes you seem unshakable, like the roots of a tree that won't uproot even in the fiercest storm. That calm steadiness helped when decisions needed to be made too, a skill I never had in younger days. I used to overthink everything until I couldn't move. But out here, on this project filled with eager volunteers buzzing with ideas, hesitation wasn't an option. Like the paint spat, remember that? Some wanted bright reds, others leaned toward soft pastels. Voices rose and the group turned to me, waiting. Instead of dithering, I chose a warm, earthy tone, neutral enough to please most, rich enough to feel alive. Lena gave me a wink that said, "You're the boss here, old-timer." That small moment taught me decisiveness isn't about pounding a gavel loudly but offering quiet leadership. It's the kind of decisiveness that others lean on, and it makes you irreplaceable. Outside of the site, this calm and clarity have helped others too. Just last week, Clara, my neighbor's daughter, was wrestling with crippling doubt over her first art show. Her voice trembled on the phone. "I don't think I'm good enough, Martin," she said, raw and vulnerable. I told her about my own early days, when I'd freeze under pressure, afraid my choices would collapse everything I cared about. "Trust your gut," I urged. Watching her grow into that fearless artist felt like a shot to the heart of those old cliches. That stability equals boring, outdated, invisible. It doesn't. It's heart and courage, wrapped in years of living, and it draws people in when they need a hand to hold. Then there's experience. The treasure I carry, like a worn leather bag, heavy but full. When a volunteer fumbled with a rusty hinge, ready to give up, I didn't snatch the tools away. I gathered the crew and told them about my own first big glitch, a project ruined by stubborn pride, a disaster that taught me more than any book or manual ever could. Laughter bubbled up, breaking tension, and those old stories transformed from just old man ramblings into lifelines for helpers trying to find their way. One of the younger women confided, "It's easier when you know someone's been through the woods and can guide you. That steady presence is something youth can't manufacture." And it made me realize how much value experience really holds. If you've ever worried that age dims your appeal, believe me, I've been there. I've stared in the mirror, wondering if the lines on my face make me invisible to the younger crowd, if my slow step means I'm less interesting or less worthy. But this project taught me something different. It's not about youth or looks. It's a confidence born from calm resilience, clear decisions, and a life fully embraced, wrinkles and all. Who would have guessed that a grumpy neighbor's morning complaint and a paint color spat could reveal a side of me I didn't know existed? That unexpected glow of quiet confidence is waiting for all of us. So, if you're wondering whether you still have it, stick around. There's more ahead. As the weeks unfolded at the community center, I began to see confidence for what it really is. A rich mosaic woven from life experience, humor, and hard-won independence. It wasn't about making snap decisions or maintaining an always cool facade. It was a tapestry shaped by years of trial, error, and heart. One afternoon, a volunteer struggled with a stubborn cabinet hinge, forcing and fumbling without asking for help. I almost stepped in, but instead shared a story from my younger days, when in my rush to finish a door frame, I stripped the wood trying to muscle through, too proud to listen or pause. The group chuckled knowingly, and the tension in the room eased. Have you ever noticed how hearing someone else's blunder makes your own mistakes feel less lonely? I'm convinced that's real connection. Confidence doesn't mean perfection. It means owning your missteps and sharing the lessons openly. Humor, too, sneaks in quietly yet packs a surprising punch. My longtime friend, Sam Riley, a retired literature professor with a sharp wit and cozy cardigans, never misses a chance to tease me about my dry jokes and terrible puns. But those jokes break tension like nothing else. When paint went missing one day, or when a bucket spilled over, I'd throw out some absurd tale about my grandson's latest mess to spark laughter. Laughter turns frustration into camaraderie. Lena Morales, the lively community organizer with her sharp eyes and contagious enthusiasm, once said, "Martin, you're the calm in the chaos." Isn't it funny how humor deepens with age, evolving into this magnetic trait that says, I can take life and myself in stride? That's confidence alive and kicking. Independence tugged me down new paths. After years of working solo on projects I controlled, I feared collaboration might cramp my style. But it taught me independence isn't shutting others out. It's trusting your own path while welcoming company. Lena and I found a rhythm, respecting each other's space and strengths, balancing gently. Younger women in the group seemed to be drawn not to my tools or muscle, but to the quiet confidence rooted in decades of experience, confidence that wasn't about grasping for approval, but about being firmly at peace with myself. That kind of self-possession is strangely seductive and deeply freeing. Take my neighbor Clara, for instance, a bright young mother who found herself stuck in a long feud with another parent over neighborhood parking. Watching her navigate that tension with grace showed me that independence often means staying true to yourself while knowing when to bend, something age makes easier to practice. This brings me to emotional stability, which in its truest form is less about stoicism and more about steady presence. Helen Carter, a close friend I've known from the neighborhood who's raised 3 kids, confided in me about her teenage son's unpredictable moods and how invisible she sometimes felt. She was drained, overwhelmed by that silent struggle. When she shared, I didn't offer solutions. I just listened, quietly, consistently. Later, she told me that my calmness, my simply being there without judgment, was exactly what she needed. It reminded me that emotional resilience anchors relationships. It smooths generational gaps, not by grand gestures, but simply by showing up as steady ground. Each of these pieces, stories from years of work and family, humor softening tough days, independence balanced with collaboration, and emotional steadiness, reshaped not only how I saw myself but how others saw me. Lena Morales and her crew weren't wowed by muscle or tools alone. They respected the journey I'd lived, the lessons I carried, and the quiet confidence in knowing when to lead and when to listen. That freedom to be unapologetically yourself is a gift age bestows, something younger generations are still reaching for. Time sculpts confidence into a rare and deep thing, far beyond surface bravado. So, as we hammered, painted, and shared stories, I realized my real superpower wasn't trying to freeze youth or pretend I was someone else. It was owning my full story. Every mistake, smile, and lesson. And letting that authenticity shine. Lena's energy keeps me on my toes, and with each day, I'm eager to learn more about confidence, connection, and the unexpected beauty of getting older. Who knows what this project will teach me next? I'm ready to find out. Trust me, the best is yet to come. Weeks into the build, something deeper than skill or routine began to stir inside me. Passion and sincerity slipped quietly into my confidence toolkit, unlocking new, powerful layers I hadn't fully known I possessed. At first, I thought this was just about the work itself, fixing floors, painting walls, shaping wood, but it quickly became so much more. Remember the neighbor's ridiculous fence feud? That feud was more than drama. It was a reminder that passion flows deeply, often from unexpected places. Here, amid the sawdust and sweat, my genuine love for woodworking caught the eyes of younger volunteers. Suddenly, I wasn't just the old guy showing up. I was someone whose enthusiasm sparked curiosity and respect. You might assume passion burns brightest only in youth, but I've learned it doesn't fade. It changes form, becoming a steady flame that fuels purpose and presence. When Lena asked me why this project mattered, I answered without hesitation. It's where stories start and friendships grow. Those words resonated far beyond the smell of fresh paint and new wood. They grounded me in something lasting. Honesty came next, slipping in like a soft but undeniable force. Vulnerability was tricky terrain. I worried about being dismissed as a relic or, worse, a novelty act. But when I let down those walls, sharing my doubts and insecurities, something shifted. Age, so often imagined as a barrier, turned out to be an invitation to trust. I found that being open about the wrinkles, the quirks, even the moments of uncertainty, built bridges rather than walls. I remember when Sam said to me, "Martin, your honesty's magnetic. People spot a phony fast, but you wear your truth like a well-loved flannel." That struck a chord. Authenticity, it seemed, outshines youth every single time. Younger women like Lena picked up on that too. They noticed when you're real, wrinkles and all, and it felt powerful. Not in a flashy way, but as the quiet strength of being fully yourself. There's a certain magic in being real that you can't fake. One evening after work, Lena shared with the volunteers how refreshing it was to work with someone who showed up with no pretense, just plain truth. I don't chase praise, but hearing that struck a chord deep down. It proved that owning your story invites respect, even admiration. Confidence isn't about a perfect polish or hiding what feels uncomfortable. It's about accepting your entire self and facing the room anyway. Think about the last time you met someone who seemed put together, then imagine that person dropping the mask and being vulnerable. Doesn't that feeling of connection hit deeper? That's the kind of confidence that sticks. Navigating age gap dynamics and battling stereotypes wasn't always easy. I caught plenty of raised eyebrows and heard whispered doubts. Why spend your time with younger folks? What do you have in common? Those moments stung, but sincerity offered a quiet rebellion against these shallow judgments. It's like having a trusted friend who gives you raw, unfiltered advice at life's crossroads. No sugarcoating, just honesty. Instead of shrinking, my confidence grew stronger because of all the assumptions it challenged. Isn't that what we all crave? Meaningful connections that outlast fleeting trends and pass the test of time. That kind of connection comes only from showing up as your whole imperfect self. So here I am, a carpenter shaped by decades and a life fully lived. Passion and sincerity aren't extras. They're the very heart of the confidence younger women seem to notice. They seek that deep fire, those unpolished truths, that calm harbor amidst the noise and buzz. Chasing youth? Pointless. When you embrace what truly makes you magnetic, the experience, the stories, the honesty, it changes everything. It's like the difference between a flickering candle and a steady lighthouse beam that guides ships through fog. Which would you follow? What lies ahead on this path? If passion and truth have already opened these unexpected doors, I'm ready, and maybe a little impatient, to see what comes next. Life has a knack for surprising us, reshaping beliefs we once held tight. So what about you? What passions and truths are waiting to be uncovered in your own story? There's so much more to share, and I'm curious and hopeful that you'll be part of this journey too. The night of the community center's unveiling party arrived like a breath of fresh air after weeks of tension, the kind we'd all needed after the fence feud that had everyone on edge and Mrs. Crabapple's relentless noise complaints that nearly derailed us. The paint fight incident, not our proudest moment, had surprisingly become a turning point, breaking down walls between neighbors and reminding us all this wasn't just a building project, it was a chance to redefine our community's spirit. As I stepped into the room, just another old carpenter in worn flannel and jeans. The lively chatter and warm glow of fairy lights wrapped around us like a comforting blanket. But then I noticed something new. Lena, with her lively dark curls and sharp, empathetic eyes, was watching me, not with pity or indifference as I'd feared, but with genuine admiration. It caught me off guard. Like the first time I heard Mrs. Crabapple's dog bark at shadows, my heart pounding, wondering what unseen presence stirred the air. This wasn't a ghost, it was a real human recognition that felt both thrilling and humbling. So, what do you do when decades of experience and quiet confidence suddenly make you magnetic to younger women who aren't looking for flash but depth? At first, I wrestled with pride mingled with doubt. After all, younger folks like Lena usually seek energy, novelty, not the slow, steady grind of an old carpenter wrestling wood and old prejudices alike. But as wine glasses clinked and speeches flowed around me, I realized their interest wasn't in some fleeting thrill. They were drawn to the confidence that only life's trials can carve, a steady strength that youth simply can't fake. It reminded me of how tough it had been during the fence dispute, when whispers questioned if someone my age could still make a difference. That night, I understood I was magnetic, not despite my years, but because of everything packed into them. I overheard Sam chatting with Lena, his voice warm and teasing. Martin might be the quiet hero we never saw coming. That comment landed like a blow and a balm at once. The real antagonist here had never been a person but the internal doubts and age-old stereotypes we all wrestled with. Mine, the neighborhood's, even Lena's in moments of surprise. The fence feud and Mrs. Crabapple's complaints were external sparks of conflict, but the deeper challenge was breaking beliefs about aging men's relevance and worth. This project wasn't just about renovating a community center, it was about reconstructing the narrative we live by. And as Sam's encouragement pushed me past the whispering voice inside, telling me I was past my prime, I felt a shift. We were outbuilding cynicism with genuine legacy, one plank of trust and respect at a time. I even saw Mrs. Crabapple quietly nod, a grudging ally won by the finished work's undeniable warmth. Reflecting on those 7 confidence markers: decisiveness, emotional stability, life experience, humor, independence, passion, and sincerity, I saw now they weren't cliches but a language uniting generations. During debates like restoring the old oak floor over laminate, my calm reasoning surprised the younger volunteers, who honestly hadn't expected an old-timer to push for authenticity over convenience. Emotional stability carried us through budget hiccups that had threatened to unravel everything, much like the patience I learned raising my family and building shaky first houses decades ago. Sharing those life stories wasn't just nostalgia, they conveyed lessons no YouTube tutorial can teach. Humor helped diffuse tensions after tough days, like when a paint can toppled, thankfully not on Mrs. Crabapple this time. Independence showed in choosing meaningful work over noisy nightlife. Passion glowed steady like the lights in our newly built space. And sincerity, well, that built bridges instead of walls whenever fears and flaws came to light. I saw how those qualities created a fabric far stronger than youth's surface sheen. What do you do when these qualities bring not just respect, but admiration and even affection from younger women who might otherwise have looked past you? Do you shrink away from whispered doubts or lean harder into your truth? That final party night shattered my hesitation. Beneath the glow of strings of fairy lights and buoyed by laughter and friendship, I stood straighter, felt lighter. This celebration was about connection, across decades, stories, and years, spent battling doubt and noise complaints alike. Like sinking a winning shot in a slow, tough game, unexpected yet rightfully earned, I was no longer just Martin the carpenter. I was a man proud to carry his years with quiet strength and lived experience. Age had become just a number, nowhere near as important as the layers of rich connection forged through authenticity. Raising my glass with Lena's warm smile close by, I felt a certainty I hadn't trusted before. Confidence born from truth, passion, and sincerity defies time. It's not about chasing youth or denying the passage of years. It's about embracing who you truly are, no matter what the calendar says. Have you felt that pulse of defiance against society's narrow views? That quiet rebellion is the magic of owning your confidence after 60. Are you ready to claim yours today? Because once you do, like me, you'll find admirers not just in others,